Just a round of applause before.
Give yourself a round of applause. Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I am joined with my good friend Charli.
Hi.
Would you like to talk a little bit about what you do and who you are?
Sure. So like Mayuko, I work in tech, but I'm a designer rather than an engineer. I work for a small tech company, and I also make YouTube videos about design.
Yeah. So today I wanted to ask Charli about all things design. I know a lot of y'all are really interested in what the other roles are in tech, and so I thought I would do a little bit of an interview and ask about what it's like to be a designer. So the first question I want to ask you, Charli, is what types of designer roles are there in the tech industry or in general?
So in the tech industry in particular, they usually split into kind of two different categories. There's the marketing design and the product design. So the marketing design is basically everything but building the tech product itself. So yeah, product design can have UX designers, which is user experience. There's UI designers, which focus more on like the visuals that you end up seeing in the app. User researchers as well. All of those roles are about designing the product. And then the marketing design roles are about designing the marketing for the product. The clue's in the name. But yeah, they tend to be split into those different categories. And depending on how big the company is, generally affects how granular the roles get within each of those. Yeah.
And like when we talk about product, I think we were talking about things like the actual app or like the website
software,
or something. Yeah. So marketing tends to be things like what's on the website talking about the product or emails or stuff like that. So,
Brand collateral, if there's conferences or the signage for that sort of thing.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm curious, what is a typical day for you as a designer?
Right. So I should say that I'm a marketing designer, so I fall into that category in the design. So I mostly am designing websites and also building them for my company. I work for ConvertKit, which is an email marketing software company. In a typical day, I would have typical week rather, I'd have a couple of big projects on, so like the main ones, and then there's like little things to fit in through that. And my team has quite a flexible like work schedule. We're all quite autonomous, so I kind of get to decide some priorities and things like that. So I'll generally set my own schedule for the day, just always making sure I'm working on the most important thing to get that done. Involves a lot of talking with stakeholders in the team. So normally if you're a designer, you might have a client, right, who you're doing the design for. And when you work on a team at a tech company, your client is usually one of your teammates,
right?
Like the person who's requested that this job be completed. So I'll talk with them, get what they need from the project, and then go ahead and design it and be in charge of producing it essentially.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to click in on that a little bit. Like, what types of problems are you solving from a day-to-day basis? Like, what are the things that you think through when you're designing things throughout the week?
So usually on the marketing side in particular, it's about conversion a lot of the time, converting people who visit the website into paying customers or like signing up for a trial, whatever it is that your product does. So that's something that I'm always thinking about and working with a data analyst we have on our team for doing testing to see what little design tweaks we can make to improve that. An interesting note there that I can give as an example is that recently we ran a test changing the colors of the buttons on our website. Just to see like if this color made people click more than this other color. And they did. And so that's really cool to like get to be very granular and do those little tests to improve conversion rates. That's, I'd say, the main problem. Other problems are generally like awareness and communicating a certain message. So for example, our sales team are going to a conference and they need like a one-page sheet to really explain to people what our product does and who uses it. So it's up to me to design that information in a way that's eye-catching so people want to take the pamphlet, and also so that it's easy to read and understand as well.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was surprised about when I started working in tech, that designers are intentional about everything.
Yes.
Like if you look at a website or an app or anything and you look at every single little thing, like why is the button rounded? Or like why are the words arranged in this order, are all so intentional. And there's kind of like, I think that's kind of beautiful. Like that's really awesome.
It's like, I like to think of design as the in-between of art and science. So like, yes, you're making things look good, but it's with a certain purpose and to achieve a certain goal.
Yeah.
So it's like, if something looks great, but it doesn't achieve the goal of increasing conversions, then it's not a successful design. And if it increases conversions, but it doesn't look great and people lose respect for our brand because of it, and it doesn't like seem as high quality in the brand perception, then that's not a good solution either. So you got to meet in the middle.
Yeah. In a way, it means you have to know like people really well.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah, you have to know your audience, who you're designing for, and really understand the problem. So I spend a lot of time at the start of a project understanding the problem before I dive in and start designing.
Yeah. Like, I guess one clarification there is like designers are also people, so it's not like you'll all have this insight into the human condition more so than everybody else does. But that's part of the job of like getting to know who you're building and doing a lot of tests, like user researchers.
Yes.
Like, that's their whole job, right?
Yeah, and it's also about realizing that your personal preference and your personal opinion isn't what matters here. It's what the audience is going to be attracted to.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so there's this one myth that I feel like I've heard a lot that actually I thought about when I was in college, but do you have to be good at art to be a designer?
Nope, you don't. Ooh. I am terrible at drawing, and I always thought this would hold me back as a designer. I always thought that I couldn't do it because I can't draw a perfect circle or anything like that, you know. You don't at all have to be good at art to be a designer. You have to have good taste, which is something that can be learned by like consuming a lot of good content. But you'll figure out the skills that you need to like achieve that level of taste as you learn it. You don't have to be good at art before you become a designer, is what I'm saying.
That is really interesting. I was really surprised to learn that. I was like, really? I can't draw a circle like perfectly either. So this actually leads into my next question of like, how does one become a designer? Like, do you go to school? Is there a major that people choose? Or are there programs? Or is it something that is learned more through a different job maybe?
So there's a couple of different ways to become a designer. You can go to school, or you could be self-taught if you wanted to. The main misconception I see people have is that it's all about learning the software. So they think, oh, I'm going to learn Photoshop and that's going to make me a good designer. That's not really what design is about. That is like a means to an end. What's more important for you to learn is design principles, design thinking. So those are like some terms you can search for if you're wanting to teach yourself. That's why I personally went to design school, because there was a program that led me through everything I needed to know to become a designer, and that just seemed easier, you know, when I was 18. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Right.
Yeah, I found design school really useful. If you are going to choose a design program, I would suggest choosing a school that specializes in design or like is known for its design program in particular. You're going to get the best results that way. I think if you're spending money on school, it might as well be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a specific like name of a design program? Because I can imagine there's things like material design,
right,
or like graphic design and stuff that all kind of fit into this world of design. Is there one specific one or several specific ones that are good for becoming a designer in the tech industry?
I would say focus in a term to look for is visual communication design. That's what my major was in my Bachelor of Design that I did. And also looking at web design, I suppose, and user experience is a good thing to focus on. But just make sure whatever program you're choosing focuses more on the, like I said, design thinking skills and like layout and typography and that sort of thing, more so than teaching you how to code, teaching you how to use Photoshop. I think those are things you can very easily learn yourself, and you know, supplement your skills. So your school might touch on those, but you can improve on them in your own time. And those other things, soft skills, I guess they call them, I don't know, are harder to learn. So yeah.
That's similar to engineering, I think, because like learning the concepts about computer science and also learning like the soft skills of like how to empathize with people and how to write good code, what looks like good code, is a thing that's harder to learn than like how to use an IDE, how to run your program. Like those tools and stuff are a means to get to the ultimate goal. But the things that like help you make those decisions while using those tools are the things that are really valuable to learn. So it sounds like it's pretty similar.
Yeah, it does. That's cool. And I think that's the difference often between a good designer and a great designer, is the one who focuses more on that, you know, design thinking and principles side of things. And it sounds like it would be the same for in engineering.
Yeah. Can I throw in like a kind of wild card question here?
Yeah, go for it.
Is there like a app or website or something that you really, really just love the design of?
Ooh, I mean, lots. I feel like as a designer, I like collect beautiful things and I'm always looking at examples. Squarespace has a beautiful marketing site. They're one of my favorites. They're always doing a lot of A/B testing as well on their homepage. If you visit their site often, which I do, then you'll often notice it changing as they're trying new things out. And I think that's really cool. Yeah, they do a lot of custom photography and things as well.
Yeah. So in addition to the stuff that you just talked about learning things like design principles and design patterns, what are other useful skills that people should learn if they want to become a designer?
I think that you need to have like this innate sense of curiosity and problem solving is something really important, like a skill to have. So being able to think critically about things is a great skill to have as a designer, not just in terms of critiquing work and being able to look at that and say, oh, that font size is wrong or things like that, but more so thinking outside the box when it comes to problem solving, not just going with the most obvious solution. That's something, again, that can be learned with practice, and the more you do things and the more you surround yourself with other designers, that will come to you.
Yeah. Again, that feels so similar to software engineering, because I would say that's also true. Like, software engineers are innate problem solvers. And so it almost makes me wonder, like, what's even the difference, sort of? But it is like what you're actually producing at the end and how you're doing it is different.
Yes.
And so maybe it has to do with like how you think about problems and how you go about solving them, and what tools do you enjoy using might be like the small difference that it takes between you becoming a designer and a software engineer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we're on our last question.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask, how did you get into design? Like, what made you want to become a designer?
So it was actually album art, like the covers of CDs.
Wow.
I'm a big music fan, and I just like loved the idea that there was this picture essentially on the cover that represented the music inside. I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And like that could make me want to buy a CD as if it had really cool cover art, you know? So that's what got me interested in design. And yeah, I studied graphics for a while and then switched over to web. And I still love album covers.
Have you ever had a chance to design an album cover for someone before?
No, not yet. That is on like the design bucket list.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you designed the book recently, right?
Yes, I did design a book recently, so that was like definitely another check on the bucket list.
Closer and closer to the album artwork.
Yeah.
Cool.
That'll be like the peak of my career.
Yeah. That's awesome. It'll come full circle. Sweet. Awesome. So I think that's it. Charli actually talks a lot about design on her channel, so definitely go check it out. We actually filmed another video on her channel about working in tech and emotions and stuff. It's really similar to the video that I put out a little bit ago about emotions, and so we're talking about how it feels to be kind of an emotional person in tech at work. So yeah, go check it out on her channel. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for being on my channel,
Thanks for
Charli.
having me.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.